Hey gamers, Rick here with Game Trade Media. We are back and still here at PAX Unplugged in beautiful Philadelphia. We're in the vendors hall, and I've got Andrew with me. Andrew,
hi. Yes.
This isn't the company I remember you from.
No, it is not. I am working with Mondo now. We have a games division that was launched last year, and I've recently joined the team to kind of help kick things off and move into 2019 in some really exciting ways with some really fun initiatives that are new to Mondo. I don't know how familiar you are with the Mondo brand. They're mostly known for like their movie posters, and we do vinyl and pins and collectibles, a lot of pop culture stuff, cult classic movies. So, you know, there's a great fan base already in place for Mondo, and we felt like moving into games was a natural extension of that. And fortunately, because I've had a lot of experience working with a lot of pop culture stuff and IPs, there was just a great meshing of like skill sets and passions. So you know, as much as I really enjoyed my time in the past with former employers, this was an exciting opportunity to kind of branch off and do some new things.
I'm glad that you're there because they already have a couple IP games out that I'm familiar with and like The Thing.
Yep,
which
absolutely.
Was really cool.
Yep,
and
so we're still supporting that. That game is doing strong.
Planet of the Apes, was that?
Nope. No. We have a game for Fight Club.
Oh, the card game?
Yep, that I don't want to talk about.
Right.
But, you know,
we won't talk about it?
No, we won't talk about it, but I will say keep an eye out for that because that'll be available like next week.
Oh, okay.
You know, or not, maybe, I don't know, you didn't hear it from me. And then we've got a really fun sort of big box, asymmetrical, survival dungeon crawly sandbox game for Jurassic Park.
Right.
That's going to be coming out early next year.
I'm really excited because that has miniatures.
Yep, it's got, I've seen some of the miniatures, some of the pre-production samples for it. Not quite ready to show that off yet, but I know that people have been asking about it all weekend. We're really excited to show that off early next year. It's got T-Rex and Raptors and the family, the scientist. It's this really fun, like asymmetrical, where everybody's got these different objectives, and you're trying to like survive and get off the island, or just run a rampage and blow everything up,
which is
or clone and make more dinosaurs, and you know,
fun.
so all good stuff. So if you're a fan of Jurassic Park or dinosaurs or like asymmetric dungeon crawly style games, check out that early next year.
But you brought us Fate of Fantos.
Yes. So in addition to the stuff we've got coming out for a couple of licenses, we've also partnered with a studio called Impulse Games, who's launched a couple of games on Kickstarter over the course of the last year, including Fate of Fantos, which I'll talk about now, and then one more game. And they really kind of fit in the Mondo vibe and aesthetic. If you see this gorgeous art, I think it's something that the Mondo fans will know and enjoy, but gamers will also really appreciate. So we really were drawn to it by this gorgeous art. But we played the game, and we really loved it too. So we said, hey, can we partner with you guys to help support this game post Kickstarter and bring it to retail, bring it out to the markets wider than they were reaching. They were really excited about that. A couple of guys, Travis and Darth, are the designers. So they've been a dream to work with, and we're really excited to work with them on putting Fate of Fantos out in front of more eyeballs and more fans.
And speaking of the art, we just showed some of the cards here, but check out the actual, like the playing cards here, the art on here. I mentioned it before we went live, was it has a very heavy metal aesthetic.
Absolutely.
So if you are a fan of that kind of artwork, and it absolutely fits the Mondo, like you said, thematic. I actually own a Mondo poster. It was a steampunk Darth Vader that came out years ago.
Yeah.
And it's on my wall in my basement with all my other Star Wars swag. And
fantastic.
It's like Mondo has always had their fingers in some really cool products and IPs, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And the fact that now you're kind of branching off outside of like known IPs with this stuff, it's kind of cool. And the art is just beautiful. But should we set the mood?
Yes. Gotta give them a little bit of a teaser for it.
All right, so we're gonna set the mood real quick. Throughout the eons, hordes of aliens and beasts from across the galaxy have descended upon the planet of Fantos in search of Iridium, the life force of all existence. Conflict became commonplace as the hordes multiplied. Rival citadels were built upon the blood of the innocent. The plague of war and greed made the planet weep with a deep sickness. It cried out to the stars for help. When Fantos could take no more, Zordrax, the cosmic warden, intervened. An overseer was dispatched to each of the 6 citadels of Fantos with this message. Hear me, citadels of Fantos. The Iridium Wars have ravaged long enough. Your planet is dying. Its screams have summoned your doom. As Cosmic Warden and Protector of Planets, I, Zodrax, have concluded that you are defilers all. A great call is required. Only one citadel shall be granted absolution. The rest shall perish. Justify your worthiness and seal your fate.
Dun, dun, dun. So we have set the stage for Fate of Fantos. You are controlling one of these citadels and trying to rise up in power, collecting iridium and proving your worthiness to rule above all others. So what that means is it's an asymmetrical tableau building game. So everybody starts with a different citadel and a couple of tributes, which are your lead characters that are in charge of your citadel. Okay. And over the course of the game, you're going to collect this iridium, which is the power source that you're going to fuel this ceaseless war with the hopes of having enough to pay tribute to Zordraz when he arrives and eradicates all the unworthy, choosing you as the sole champion and warden of the planet.
Nice.
The tricky thing is that this resource that you have to spend in order to kind of build out your tableau. So you're balancing how much you can accumulate, how much you can spend over the course of a couple of different actions. There's phases for readying your tributes, taking actions, participating in trials, because each round various trials are going to appear that are going to cause either immediate effects or long-term effects that you have to resolve along the way. And ultimately, as the game progresses, Zodraz will arrive, and that's going to trigger the end game condition. And then if you're fortunate to have accumulated enough of this power in Iridium, you'll be the champion and reign over all others. Or along the way, because the game is competitive, you can just wipe out all the competition.
Right.
And so that if you've done that before Zodraz arises, you also win.
Nice.
The trick is, like, through these trials, there's a bit of a competitive element, but also some cooperation. So you're going to have to choose your allies wisely, figure out where you can form alliances, when you might need to break them, build out your tableau, kind of power up your citadel by recruiting new characters and playing specific actions to your side, and eventually, see who can reign supreme.
Cool.
So it's a really great game. It's got a phenomenal visual storytelling perspective to it, really fun world to play in, and some really fun strategic action, trying to determine who you can ally with, how you can overcome the trials, and again, who will determine the fate of Fantos.
Nice. And when is this game going to be available?
So this game is available now as we're kind of fulfilling the rest of the inventory from Kickstarter, from Impulse Games. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all this gorgeous art and we're going to kind of repackage it to get it ready for retail. So we're going to put together a couple more components, tweak the layout a little bit, but like everything you see here is going to remain intact. All of the great visuals, all the storytelling, just kind of put a little bit of a finishing touch on it to kind of put the Mondo stamp on it, while not really touching anything that the guys at Impulse put together to really kind of put a nice tidy bow on the package and then bring it out to all the fans out there. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And so that version should be coming out in the next couple months as we kind of get everything kind of finalized. So Fate of Fantos.
Fate of Fantos. Now, you brought another game.
So
Mad Love.
Mad Love. So this is also from Impulse. We're also partnering with them on this game that I also put out through Kickstarter. This game is a little bit different, but we were really drawn to it, again, from its art style, its visual presentation. This is a two-player cooperative game where you can't communicate with your teammate. So you have to work together in a capacity to try and elevate the connection between the two players in love before you are driven insane by madness. So the story is, we are a couple and we have unearthed an ancient tomb. And in that ancient tomb are the unspeakable horrors from the Cthulhu mythos. And in getting trapped in this tomb, we've been separated and we're lost in the darkness and we can't hear each other, but we can connect through our love. While also trying to avoid the madness that's going to plague us as we're trying to connect and escape. So basically the way the game works is we are going to shuffle off this deck of 18 cards, and 9 cards are going to go to each player.
Okay.
I'll shuffle those up real quick. So you would get 9, I would get 9.
Okay.
We're going to take 2 cards from each of our hands and put them into a grid. And we can kind of do it this way because we're going to play across from each other. So put 2 cards there, 2 cards there. Great. And on your turn, if I'm going to go first, I'm going to have 2 cards and you're going to have 1. So we're passing cards back and forth between one another or outside of the grid to try and connect our love while avoiding the madness. So when you play a card, you can play it sort of any of the cardinal directions, and then that's going to push the cards in that direction. So if I put a card here, I'm pushing this to you, and then this card gets added to the grid, and then we reveal that.
Okay.
And then you're going to take that action, which says you must push the next dream towards your partner. These cards are the dreams.
Okay.
That's going to go in your hand.
All right.
Or you can play cards. Let's say, for example, I push a card out, a dream out this way. I'm pushing it out. And the idea is because you know the distribution of the cards, so there's only 18, you're trying to push the love to connect with your opponent and the madness cards out so that you can move up your love meter and max that out before you max out the madness meter. And if you can do that cooperatively but without communicating, we win. But if this madness meter tops out first, we lose. So again, the madness try and push out, so I might reveal this. That was great. Like I pushed a madness card out, and this goes to a discard pile.
Okay.
And then because I didn't give this card to you, you would instead reveal the top card of your deck, and you would trigger that. Oh, and that unfortunately isn't as good because we gain a madness and lose that. That goes to your hand. But now that's information that we have so that you can play cards to the grid because the cards are revealed and we start to keep track of what cards have been discarded, what cards have been picked up by our teammate's hand, and try and, again, play the positive cards pushed out to one another and take the negative cards and push them out.
Okay, so the one that I had to pick up was I must push a card to the next player, or so I would have to do something like this.
You would have to push it like you would put it here or here.
Yeah.
So maybe you know what one of these cards is because we remember like where we put other cards in the grid because again, you push something here, right? You would have to push these out. But now we all remember, okay, that's the cat card. So we can remember, we start to build more information as we do that. So I would do that. And it would say, you must dismiss your next dream, which is discard. So it means you have to push it out instead of pushing it to another player.
Okay.
But that goes to my hand. So again, as we're playing through the game, we're starting to get more information as we're connecting with one another. And again, we're not communicating verbally. So we have to all remember, it's like, okay, like that one was here. And then you remember, okay, that I played this one there. So you start to remember how to manipulate the grid to try and connect with love and avoid the madness. Plays in about 5 to 10 minutes, so it's a very quick game. Great for 2 players. It's just a 2-player game with some really fun deductive elements, all in this beautiful, gorgeous art presentation in this
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Art, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and show Leona these. That Cthulhu piece is gorgeous. There we go. And then you've got yours.
Yep. All right, we have a gnarly Hotep
those
and a brown Jenkin. Yeah.
Yeah, the artwork is phenomenal.
So again, at Mondo, we're really striving to feature art and artists and the artistry and the aesthetics behind all of our games. We really want to make sure that everything stands out in a really meaningful and significant way. And people pick something off the shelf or they have it on the table and they're like, this is a gorgeous piece of art as much as it's an awesome game to play.
Absolutely.
So that's really kind of behind all of our methodology is how can we put together something that really elevates the game market in a fun, thematic, and artistic way.
Cool. And it looks like they're doing a good job with this new partnership with these guys.
Absolutely.
Now, when is Mad Love going to be available?
This is sort of the same story. So we've got this. We're going to continue to fulfill from the rest of the Kickstarter inventory, and then we'll take that and put out a reprinting and get that out early in the year as well. So cool. Both of these games will be out early in the year. Jurassic Park will also be out early next year, and the other game that we're not going to talk about will be available before the end of the month.
Oh, all right. There you guys have it. And if you want to find out more about Mondo and all the games that are coming out of the Mondo house, where do they go?
We're at MondoTees, MondoTees.com. That's where you can find out about all the games, and if you're interested in anything else that Mondo releases, so posters, T-shirts, pins.
Masters of the Universe.
Yep, vinyls, collectibles. Yeah, we got the Skeletor.
Yeah, Skeletor and Merman and He-Man look amazing.
Yeah, so we've got some really great, we got tiki mugs, we have glassware, so we're really fortunate to partner with a awesome lineup of great licenses. So not just games, but again, collectibles and glassware and tikis and pins and vinyl and
the Dutch
posters.
Predator tiki is cool. The big T-Rex tiki is cool. They're all freaking cool. Go to mondotees.com and check all of it out.
Awesome.
Andrew, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
We will see you, Andrew, and I will see you at the game store.